Hey everyone, it's Kristen. So I finally got my issue of Uncanny X Men 10. It came in the mail on Friday. But just, life. I worked Friday and then I worked yesterday and I have to go in actually to work today. But I just wanted to, do this video before I fall further behind because I know I'm behind on my other videos too. So anyway, plus I was excited to read it, but I will say as an animal lover, I I didn't like this issue. I mean, we talked about this, so I loved and hated this issue at the same time. Because we talked about this in the last video, Uncanny X Men 9, that they made the hounds from actual like stray dogs. And you can see on the cover right there is a lost dog flyer. Someone's so with the implication of, hey, they could have used this lost dog as one of the hounds. So just the fact that they used real animals to make these hounds is just disconcerting. Like I don't like it. But okay, like the love part is you look, the kitties are back. So you see Lucifer, who is orange, Oliver, who is gray, and Figaro, who's white. Which is interesting. I mean, they're all named after Disney cats, but you think, okay, Lucifer from Cinderella should be the darker one because he was black and white in that movie. And Oliver and Company should be um orange because he was like a orange striped kitty. And then Figaro, well, actually, he was black and white too. He was the tuxedo kitty. So anyway, I mean, they took just, of course, they named the cat, so it's not, they don't have to follow exactly what they really are. But anyway, so I love that we see Nightcrawler's inner monologue in this issue. Um, Nightcrawler is one of my favorite male characters, male X-Men characters. I've talked about that before. I love the juxtaposition of his faith and him looking the way he does and being called, a demon by so many people because of his appearance. But he's like the most kind and just loving person. He's just one of my favorite characters, and it's cool to see a person of faith in comics considering uh considering it's hard to I would say it's hard to put the perspective of God and faith in comics because all these characters have like these such godly, I will say, powers. So how can you think that there's, a God when you can see all these creatures, these people that have powers that equate them to a god? And then you have, of course, the gods of like, Thor, Norse mythology, and Greek gods, Hercules. So anyway, it's just interesting. I think it's cool that they put that in comics. Where was I going with this? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm glad to see him in here. I'm glad to see the kitties. And so Nightcrawler, his inner monologue is saying, he's felt, kind of lonely lately. Um, I'm sad, but he really has been enjoying being at Haven. Like it feels like home to him. And he says later in the issue, he doesn't even know if Rogue, decides to restart the X-Men, or, take back the Xavier Mansion, if he'd really even want to go back to being an X-Men. So here he is with Chelsea, Marcus's daughter, and it's Sunday, she says, and so she said her dad believes Sunday is a day to repair things that are broken. So they're working, on the house. So, you know, and Chelsea remarks that whenever he uses power, it stinks. And he's like, I know. I've been told that numerous times. And he's like, hold your nose. And so he's, painting and he puts the paint up there. And then here is Oliver, which they made a mistake and they're calling him Lucifer. So whether that was Gail or the colorist, accidentally made him the wrong color. Anyway, so that's actually Oliver, not Lucifer. And being a cat, he dumps dumps the paint tray on them. But Chelsea protects them with her powers, and Nightcrawler's like, "Oh my gosh, Chelsea, did you do that?" She's like, "Dome. That's what I want my X-Men name to be when I grow up. But, don't tell my dad." Okay, I called it. Like I said, in issue 3, when Marcus jokes, because obviously he doesn't know his daughter's immune. When Marcus jokes to Rogue, "Don't be putting any letters on my girl's clothes," meaning don't make her an X-Men. I called it. I said I think Chelsea's immune. So I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people called it too. I'm sure a lot of people knew. Like it wasn't just me. I mean, but it's still, I'm pretty proud of myself for picking up on that. Anyway, so it's the lady whose daughter he saved, Mackenzie. She comes and she's like, "I just wanted to thank you. I brought you this cake that I made. It's German in case you're homesick. And I made you a bunch of other cakes and cookies. And oh, look, I made you this scarf and this hat. I hope they're, your colors." And Nightcrawler's overwhelmed. He's like, "This really isn't necessary." And she's like, "Yes, it is." And so I just thought that was a really, because she's like, "You saved my daughter's life. You gave me back my daughter. It's totally necessary. I just wanted to say all this to say that I really appreciate you." So I think that's really sweet. I mean, I love that moment. And then we're back to where we were at the end of issue 9, where a Death Ring is supposedly dead, but he's not, really dead. So Sophia Jitter says, "Oh my gosh, he has a pulse." And so she uses her powers to become a combat medic. And she tells Branson, "Hey, I need a large needle. There's a tattoo parlor not far from here. I need it because he has a pulse, but he's not breathing. So his ribs are broken. So they're like, making it so his lungs aren't working." And of course, Calico's really sad because she's like, "Oh my gosh, he said that I was the first person that cared whether he lived or died since he was 6 years old," and she feels really bad for leaving him alone to try to deal with the dogs, hounds. So Calico's like, "Go, Ransom, do what you need to do. I will take care of this. Ember and I will take care of this." And she says steeplechase. And I mean, this of course, like, I love her character. Like I said, reminds me of makes me think of Shira, because I love that character, and Swiftwind growing up. It just, or well, when I discovered the cartoon later in life, because it wasn't really around when I was growing up. But anyway, beside the point, love it. I love that, and I love horses, period, so I think that's really cool. So anyway, Calico's like, "Go, I got this." So Ransom Ransom is like, "Okay," and he's hurrying. He's trying to make it, and he doesn't make it in time though. And Sophia's like, "Oh my gosh, my time's up. I don't know what to do." Um, because Calico has all the hounds follow her, and then the warden is like, "Oh my gosh, you screwed up talking to Trask. You screwed up. Like, how could you do this? Like, it's all over the news. And I mean, and if it's connected to us, and this is just really bad. Like, for the prototypes to be attacking teenagers." And he's like, "I didn't do it. I didn't I didn't would do you think I would really do that with the history my family has? Like, that'd be stupid." Especially, anyway, going after kids. So Nightcrawler sees it on TV, and he calls Wolverine, and he's like, "We need to get there." And Chelsea's like, "Don't worry, they'll be okay. I gave them Tuffy." Remember, she gave Calico her little stuffed dinosaur when because she was nervous about school. And there's a little dinosaur. Or nervous about, going to the mall and stuff. So, and Nightcrawler says, "Let us pray." Like I said, I think it's cool that they're having religious themes in a comic book, and I just love because I just, I've explained all that before. I won't go back into it because, it's already Like, yeah. I'm trying to make videos shorter, but I always go off on tangents. So here we have Ember and Calico busting through the hounds. So Sophia's trying to remember, what just went through her head when she you know, used her powers to become a combat medic. So she's thinking and she's doing her best. And she is she tells Death Dream this is gonna hurt a lot. So she plunges the needle into him and he gasps and so he's breathing again. So that's good. And meanwhile, Ember and Calico are being overrun by the hounds. And the warden's like, shut this down, shut this down. The news is everywhere. And he's like, we're trying, they're not responding. And then there's this cool like splash page for the advertisement for Amazing Spider-Man 1, which April of this year, which I mean, I get it. They have to well, from the ashes, they re redid every X title and put it at number one, I think to make it easier for new readers to join in to think. I guess because like it can seem overwhelming to be like, oh, this is like 700, this is issue 715 or whatever. And it makes it seem less overwhelming, even though there's a lot of history in, comics, X-Men, Spider-Man, seems less overwhelming to just be like issue one. And they're like, okay, I can start with one. I can do that. So, I mean, the splash page looks really cool though. And so Ransom goes to, help Ember and Calico, and um he's like, "Hey, you know what? I need you to have Ember like kick me." And she's like, "What?" When Ember kicked Wolverine, Mr. Logan, it like gave him a concussion. And he's like, "My heart can take it. Like it can absorb it. Like I need the boost of power." And then we see Jitter and Death Dream. He's like, "My powers don't work on, these sentinels, these hounds, and your powers are tapped out. What are we gonna do?" And so they're running, and Ransom and Death Dream says, "Jubilee lied. The malls are in fact terrible because, of course, the first time we meet Jubilee is in Uncanny X Men 244 in a mall. So, and also that's the first time we meet her, in the animated series, or the first time the X-Men meet her anyway. And then so Jitter's like, we didn't even make it to the food court, but they did get pretzels, which pretzels are really good. So Wolverine and Jubilee make it to, the mall, and this cop's like, hey, you can't go there. Uh, and Wolverine's like, basically back off. I need to. And Jubilee is flirting with the police officer, like, hey, I'm single in a way, sort of. Anyway, so then the hounds start attacking civilians. See just random civilians. So here comes Nightcrawler. He, moves the hound, basically teleports it out of the way. And there's the hounds coming after Death Dream and Jitter. Okay, this part I didn't like. I was, well, among the other parts, it just was a little disturbing. I was like, oh, man. So there's Ransom. Ransom. He got kicked by Ember and he's okay. He got back up and that gave him a power boost. So he threw one of the hounds at Wolverine and oh, he sliced him in half. Because, like I said, they were made from actual real dogs. So yeah, that sucks a lot because yeah, it sucks. Like I've said before, if a animal dies, no, I can't watch it. Can't watch that movie. Like a lot of movies I've only seen once because the animal dies in the movie, and I'm like, nope, can't do it again. Like John Wick, the first one, I've only seen that movie once because I just can't do it. The ones after that I've seen multiple times because you don't have to deal with that traumatic scene again. I guess I could just skip it, but I even skipping through it, I can see it. So anyway, so yeah, sucks. I don't like this part at all. It's terrible. I hate it. This is why I want, another reason why I hate this issue. So anyway, um, Death Dream finally realizes that the hounds are actually made of dogs, like organic, like material, so to speak. So he tells them that he can set them free, so he does. And he's like, "Go in peace, hounds. May you have endless tennis balls and sausages. All dogs go to heaven." And Calico says, "Oh my gosh, I love that movie." So she must have seen it recently because growing up, her mom did not let her, you know, watch movies, watch TV, listen to music, anything like that. She was super, super sheltered. So I feel like she must have seen that recently, like since she's been with the team. I mean, or yeah. And Death Dream's like, "What? There's a dead dog movie?" I mean, yeah, I liked that movie. It was a cute movie, but yeah, I was a little bit like, "Oh, that's so sad." At the same time, so Wolverine's like, "We got all of them, you did good, kid." And Ransom's like, "Don't call me kid." And he's like, and then he calls him Bub. And all the crowd's like, "Oh my gosh, they saved everyone. They're just kids. Wow, great job." So now the warden is even more upset, and she's yelling at this guy who, activated the hounds. And he's like, "Well, Trask told me we're going to lose funding. I thought a demonstration was in order." And she's like, "You idiot. You made these kids heroes rather than, I mean, that is totally opposite of our purpose to show that mutants are, dangerous creatures that don't deserve, to live like among us freely." So he gets put in one of the cells at the mansion. And then we have this little interlude. Gambit and Rogue are having a night out. And Rogue's talking about how much she loves the ballet and how she wishes she could dance like that. And Gambit jokes like, "Hey, well, just let me go get one of them and you can hold their hand for a minute and then of course you can dance like that." Which I'm like, okay, I'm looking at their outfits, and before I read the text up here, the text bubbles, I thought they were like going to a club or dancing or whatever because to me the this is just me. I guess I'm old fashioned, but I don't see those as going to the ballet outfits. I mean, I love her outfit. I love his outfit. I love how, they look, but I just, I'm like, "Oh, the ballet, really? You're gonna wear that?" Okay. It just doesn't seem like traditional outfits you'd wear to the ballet, but of course they're not traditional people, so. And Rogue's like, "I should check in," and Gambit's like, "No, Jubilee and the others, they got this. It's fine. You don't need to." Um, and so, okay, from the claws alone, this makes me think that it's Sabretooth because he calls him Remy and he calls him a little thief. So I feel like it's Sabretooth because they have a lot of history together. So next is the X Manhunt for Professor Xavier. So this will be the next issue of X Men is part one. Which, okay, I've said this before, like I love X Men, but there's like, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, there's like eight, you know, tie-ins, eight issues for this. I mean, it's hard enough for me to find one issue of it. So, like, yeah, so I won't be going over the whole story. I won't be collecting the whole thing. I mean, I might try to find get the trade paperback later so I can read it, but at this point, like I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna attempt to try to find all those issues um in order to, like I said, in order to read the whole story. I'm sure it'll be fine. And then I think the next one, after this Uncanny X Men 12, is a Gambit focused story, which I'm looking forward to. And said, more secrets of his past will be revealed. It's like, well, what other secrets could he have? And I'm hoping it's not like a something that will cause drama with him and Rogue and their relationship. Hoping it's not like a secret kid or I don't know, just something random that just causes drama between them and, tears them apart. Please no. After X-Men 97, I don't want to read about that too. Like I saw that, in the show on screen. I don't care to read about that also. Like drama between the two of them and being pulled apart. No thanks. So anyway, now I'm gonna go and do my videos for catch up on my calendar stamp series videos. So yeah, like I said, I know I'm so far behind this week, so I apologize. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and like I said, I love when you guys comment because it's fun to read the comments and respond and everything. And I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with my cat videos, my cat visitor videos. The one of Longshot from last night. Well, Lauren was there too, of course, but Longshot was really cute in that video. So we'll see if I mean, they haven't, like, I haven't posted a video every night because they haven't come every night. So I'm like a little bit worried, like, oh, have they found someone else to, befriend and now they're no longer going to be my friends? They're not going to come visit me every night. That's sad. So hopefully they continue to come visit me because I really enjoy seeing them. So anyway, I will see you guys soon in my other videos. So until then, bye.